thank you for joining us, Cam. We're going through a case study today about a hybrid manufacturing model and a software selection. So Cam, can you kind of just give us a brief overview of your role on this project?
Absolutely, yeah. Cameron Carpenter, I'm a senior consultant on the project. I manage the project. So I help from the beginning through the end of the project to selecting the right vendor. That's from kickoff, hosting workshops, documenting requirements, processes, engaging with vendors, assessing vendors for RFP responses, et cetera, all the way through to a selection.
Excellent. Well, can you explain to us what this specific project entailed and how you helped our client community get to the results that they were hoping for?
Absolutely. So very, very unique, cool client. They, when we say they're a hybrid manufacturing model, as we got to learn and know them, is that it's kind of an engineering to order construction type company that manages all contract manufacturers. So they have the engineer to order design phase and do a lot of customizations for different projects for customers. They do not actually manufacture items. So with a lot of these softwares and how their verticals hang is, if you're a manufacturer, you fit in a manufacturing model. If you're a distributor, you have a distribution model, right? And so that unique complexity in combining the construction aspects of how they manage orders made them very unique. So the whole goal for them to come to us is this was round two for them and we were their new selection firm. They'd already done a software selection project prior to engaging with Third Stage, and they came to the table because they knew more, right? They understood more about the situation they were in, and they started to actually engage more stakeholders in the organization. And it was more from a change management perspective, getting that buy-in and getting that feedback from the whole organization, essentially. So that was kind of the start of their case. And they engaged with us to help them to select software. So assess and review who they had already seen and understand their business model, their requirements, and then approach them with our selected vendors and shortlist.
So why did they feel like they needed to re-engage independent consulting firm for their software selection? Because it sounds like they already kind of went through that exercise.
Yes. So I think there were a lot of questions that arose, and there were some of the owners of the company weren't as involved in the initial selection project, and some of the other strong stakeholders, their manufacturing engineer, some of the sales reps in the front end. And additionally, from what they saw in the past, CRM was a very, very big component of this project. And they wanted to look for CRM in a solution that was core to the ERP, something that's getting enhanced, and all vendors are trying to compete on the CRM side and try to eliminate those third parties like Salesforce and other. But this client, they didn't get what they needed to out of their previous engagement to make a full assessment and decision. And so they engaged with us to help them with that process.
Interesting. And can you give us just a quick profile of this company, location, size, and then we already know they're kind of in the manufacturing universe a bit.
They're, employee wise, they do a lot for a small base, 28 or so employees, but they have high revenue. It's, in the last 2-3 years, it's significantly grown from, 20 million up to about 50 million in revenue now. So, and not only that, projects for them are getting more and more complex, right? We go where the market is driving, and they're flexible in that, and they work for their customers and to get their jobs done. So very unique.
When we talk about this specific niche business, how do you go through the process of selecting a software or recommending a selection when sounds like a pretty unique model? Do you have to look at a lot of customization or maybe some tier 2 unknown softwares, or how does that look?
I've been around for a while. I've been on, I need to start counting how many demonstrations I've been on. I've seen tons of vendors and I've worked in multiple industries. So my vertical knowledge from distribution to manufacturing and architecture, engineering, construction combined, I was able to, it's really on how you assess and break out the organization and their workshops and consolidating the requirements to grasp the true picture from end to end of the organization. And so that clarity amongst knowing and understanding how these systems operate and are managed are very helpful. To help them, I needed to understand who they were and what they did. So that's part of, engaging not only with just leaders, but the subject matter experts and the business process owners within the organization to truly get a picture of what it is they're doing and what their needs are. They were very unique, and the CRM component added another complexity to this to begin with, because that was their systems environment. And that's all they knew is we have a CRM that we're using today, and we're not only using it to manage leads and opportunities, but we're also using it kind of as a workflow management tool and tracking the different stages from design and engineering through to manufacturing and shipment. And so when you do that, you have a tool that's disjointed and doesn't have any good collected data. So I kind of sidetracked there, but essentially it's trying to get a grasp of the entire organization and how they operate. They're going for Dynamics Business Central as the top solution. Second would be Acumatica. It was a very good fit for their model. The partner had specific experience with engineer to order construction type companies. They built an accelerator to help with that engineer to order on the front side. And ultimately, from a CRM perspective, when you look at Microsoft's CRM package, it integrates to Dynamics Business Central, very user intuitive and more of a straight CRM solution compared to core ERPs, such as, I could list a bunch of them, but all of them, Infor's, Epicore's.
Excellent. And do you know any results that they've got from selecting this software, or have they implemented yet, or what's kind of their current state?
Current state is scoping and negotiations. So we still got a little ways to go with them. But the benefit that they're going to see are going to be tremendous. We went through the demonstration process. The results were clear. We had one true vendor with true fit. There were no follow-ups or questions coming out of the demonstration, and in the process worked. We got these vendors in play, and they saw what they needed to see to make a decision. It was night and day difference between the others.
And what do you think was the main cause between that difference that you referenced?
There were different complexities that were pain points and issues within the organization, right? Not only we had disjointed tools, but a lot of companies don't understand how to correlate. Like, look, I didn't need to see a field service module, for instance, but that's what the vendor showed me, and it had nothing to do with my business. So right. I think that ultimately, by being able to understand and know who they were, we brought these to the table. We were able to paint a picture with how we script out these demos, what it is they need from an end-to-end viewpoint, right? Don't show us bicycle parts, show us our process and how we would manage and do this, and everything clicked from the beginning all the way through to financials. So
yeah, it sounds like the demos were a really key turning point for them. And how do you make sure that the demos or the demonstrations, when you are going through a software selection, are really relevant to your client's business?
It all starts from the workshops. Those are key. Everything from the beginning of the project is the most vital. It's the most bandwidth that you utilize from their team other than demos. And you need to capture the most relevant information and pain points so you can drive those into the demonstration script. I don't know if I want to provide crafty details on how I do those demonstration scripts. We just do very well at them here.
The secret sauce.
Yeah, the secret sauce. But we have ways to connect the unique business model and what it is that they need to the vendors. But we also have ways to prepare and prep the vendors to come to demo. And it's not only about the vendor, it's about the potential partners that they're working with and having a vast knowledge of all the vendors and a ton of different partners that we've worked for. So we add value there as well, just from that network.
Yeah, and just out of curiosity, so our audience can understand, do you have any sort of influence on the vendors that they choose? Do you care at all? Is there any sort of financial impact for Third Stage when it comes to software that they select?
No. Uh, as most people should know, if they've seen plenty of our videos by now, we're completely agnostic. We have no ties to any of these vendors, and at the end of the day, if I'm engaging with someone and they're not working, I have no problem pulling the rug out from under them and finding somebody else to bring in. When we engage, we work with vendors. We look for them to work through us because we're there for our clients. So what our client needs, that's what they get. We help try to push the salesy side of what the vendors try to get with the customers and put it on us, so we can streamline the process and really just keep them focused on their business and what it is they need out of a system. Because at the end of the day, it's about the system, and then it's about the partnership. If you eventually go with a vendor that you're gonna use a partner versus going direct.
Absolutely. And a final thought here, what's one thing you or the team learned from this project?
Other than that, they were a very cool client, and the culture was awesome. I wish we could keep doing a selection project with them.
Yeah.
Lessons learned from the project that our team is really around their business model, right? It's very unique. We learned about a couple of vendors that have more flexibility in this specific niche, working with only third-party contract manufacturers, right? So that was a value add, I think, that will allow us to engage these specific vendors in the future when we find clients that are very similar situation.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk through that with us today. And if any of our audience wants to learn more about this project, we can feel free to reach out to Cam directly. His information is on our contact us page, or it's in the description if you're watching this video on our YouTube channel. So thanks again for being with us today, Cam.
Yeah.
And we will catch you soon, I'm sure, on something else.
I sure hope so. Thanks for having me, and good luck everybody with your selections. We bring them to the table.